Okay, this is the next video in our continuation of our AWS series. And in this video, we will look about the load balancer listener rules. So first we need to understand how the basic architecture look like and from where this concepts come, like listener rules and what are these. And then we will see like in practical, like in a demo. All right. So this is like, if you see this diagram, in this diagram what we have like two EC2 instances, like one EC2 instance and the second EC2 instance, and we have the load balancer, and when we have the like users. So this is like normal architecture, very simple architecture. So in this, like you created some website. Now you have to run your website. So you need one EC2. You spin up your website. That's fine. So one thing is you can directly give that IP to the user. So user can directly access to your website directly by accessing the EC2 IP. The other thing is, but there are chances of like user can do some hacking or like these things. But the other chances, like you can like put some like in between like a load balancer. What it will do, let's suppose there is just only one EC2. So instead of giving the IP of that EC2, you are giving the IP of that EC2. So and you are giving the IP of the load balancer, and the load balancer is forwarding the request to the EC2. And if you want to make your website more available, then you can like spin up two EC2 instance, and both EC2 instance contain the same website, and then both are in the like a different availability zone, like it's 1A and 1B. And then the user will come. So the first transaction will go on the EC2, then second transaction go on the second EC2. So basically it is going to manage the user load, because if all the user come only on the one EC2, then there are high chances then our server might crash, or it like less responsive. So this is like the basic architecture. But how the load balancer know where I need to send the request? Because in the AWS there are thousands of EC2 instances. Let's suppose we created 10 EC2 instances. Then how the load balancer know where I need to send the request? So that are called as the listener rules, right? So these are called the listener rules. So listener rules are the rules which will check the incoming traffic. So whatever the listener rules like resigned like in between, you can say the load balancer and between the EC2, in between that. So it is going to check the incoming traffic, like which traffic it is going. It is going to check the URL. Okay, which URL like the user has triggered, or from which location it is user has been triggered. Because sometimes based upon the location, user location, our load balancer divert the request to the nearest loader. If like our do have the two situations, one is in the India and one is in the Europe, and one user is from the Europe trying to access our website, then load balancer will send the request to the that EC2 instance which exists in the Europe rather than the one which exists in the India, right? So all this activity will be done by the listener rules. So in a very layman term, the listener rules, you can say, act as a bouncer. When you go into any club, right? So as soon as you enter into that club, then you will see there are bouncer at the gate of the club, right? Then the bouncer will ask you, okay, show me your ID card. Then bouncer will check your ID. If if you are satisfying the criteria, let's suppose the criteria is less like greater than 18 of age. If you are 18 plus, then the bouncer allows you, okay, you can enter. If you are less than 18, then bouncer is restricting you. No, you are not allowed. So that is a layman example. You can like consider this as a listener rules. So this is the property of the listener rule itself. So listener rules are very like important. Let's suppose you created some website and you want only the particular IP can access my server, because in the organization, like you work on some organization, and that organization have their server, that particular server, right? So and that server is not public. So we want, and we are not directly accessing the server, we are accessing through the load balancer, but we want only the particular IP can access that server, right? So we can create a listener rules, and within the listener rules we will say, okay, if this is the IP, then it is going to forward the request to the particular server. If there is some another IP, then it should not like forward the request. So these are the listener rules. So based upon the rules which we set up, it will take a decision like, do we want to block the incoming text or do we want to pass the incoming text, right? And to which particular instance we want to send the request. So these rules can be set up on the firewall and these rules can be set up on the load balancer as well. So in this video, we will cover the load balancer. So you can set up this rule on the firewall as well, to check which from which IP request is coming. If it is coming from some another IP, then you can block that particular IP. And we can attach these rules on the load balancer as well. So in this video, we are seeing the load balancer and in the demo as well. So it is used to manage the traffic based upon the domain name, HTTP request path. So we will cover everything. Just ignore for the time being what are all are these. So these are the the layman a very general uh, architecture diagram. But there are one more complex diagram. So this is the complex diagram. So in this, what happen is we have two EC2 instances, right? So in one target group, and we have two more EC2 instances in the second target group. So let's suppose, so if you go to the geeks.geeks website now, then you're going to notice, so there is a one website, geeks4geeks.org. If you open that website, geeks for, then this UI will able to see. But if you open practice.geeks4geeks.org, so if you see the domain is same, geeks4geeks.org, but it is here, it is geeks4geeks.org, then it is this. But if you see practice.geeks4geeks.org, then the UI is different, right? So how you are going to because the DNS is same, because the DNS is like geeks for geeks, or the rules is different. If someone enter practice in front of geeks for geeks, then it is going to this website. If someone is not giving practice, then it is showing you some different website. Then how this behavior is happening? So this behavior is happening like this. So let's suppose you created two websites. So one website has this interface, one website has this interface. So what you will do, you spin up one website on this issue group, on the target group one, like on both the issue two instances. Why two issue instances? Just to make your website more available. On and there is another website, another UI, which is practice.geeks4geeks.org. So you will spin up your second a website on this is on this target group. But now you have the only one load balancer, right? So user is going to access only geeks4geeks.org. Then how we are going to decide whether user has to access this page or whether user has to access this page, right? So what we can do is we will set up a listener rules. Within the listener rules, we will mention, okay, if the request is coming, but in the request, if there is a practice keyword like practice.geeks4geeks.org, then it should move to my second target group where my second website is hosted. But if there is not a practice keyword, then it should route my traffic to my first target group where my first traffic is routed, right? Or so that's why we say on the basis of the domain. So on the basis of the domain, we can manage the traffic, right? On the basis of the HTTP request as well. So let's suppose you have one website, right? And in that website, there are so many operations like get, post, delete, right? So you want, if there is any get operation happening, then it should go to this target group, and whatever the post operation happening, it should go to the this target group. Then you can do that as well. All right. So but how you are going to do that as well? You have to set the rules, and how we are going to set, we will see just in after a couple of minutes, right? And on the base of IP address, okay, if that is the particular IP, then you can send the traffic to the particular target group, or based upon the query string as well, based on the path as well. Path means if someone do, okay, www.geeks4.geeks.org slash website one slash website two slash website three slash website four. So if someone did slash website one, then it is going to do target group one where our website one is hosted. If someone do website two, maybe it's going to the target group two, but the main DNS is same, right? So let's, so if you see some example, so I just search on the Google AWS load balancer listener rules. So I could see this diagram. It is available just on the images. So you see, if someone did www.example.com, so user only know www.example.com, all right? But that website is very complex website, right? Let's suppose it is very complex website, and it has three microservices. One is slash orders, one is slash images, one is slash registration, right? If someone do slash order, then it do some functionality, and that functionality like is working on this EC2 instances. If someone do slash images, then all the images reside on the some another EC2. If someone do slash registration, then the all the registration authentication part is on the another EC2. But there is only one load balancer. So that one load balancer is deciding where I need to send the request. But if you see our simple architecture, this is normally it is always going to like in a round robin fashion, like first on the first EC2, then second on the second EC2, then third request on the first EC2, fourth request on the second EC2. Doesn't matter whether we will put slash order slash like images slash registration, like doesn't matter. But if our like uh, we want like okay slash orders microservice is running on one EC2, slash images on second EC2, slash registration on third EC2, but our DNS should be saved. Then the listener rules come into the picture. Then we are going to see. So let's close this. So let me close this gigs for gigs website. So let me close this as well. And yeah, so now we are going to spin up this architecture diagram. So to spin up this architecture diagram, what we need four EC2 instances, one, two, three, four. And in the first two EC2 instances, we want to spin up some website, right? And in the second EC2, in the third and fourth EC2 instances, we want to spin up another website. So let's create four EC2 instances. So open the AWS console, go to the EC2 and select any region, whatever you want, in which you want to do. I think I just created the, okay, let's try to create. So why it is giving me the error? Access not authorized to perform the load balancer based upon the okay. Okay, let me give me 1 minute. Let me give me the permission of this user because I just created a new user. That's why I'm getting this error. I think I have not given the full access. Just give me few minutes. Let me give the full access. So I just give the full access. So the administrator says, now we are not seeing that. So like we have to implement like this architecture. So in this, what we have to do, we have to spin up like four EC2 instances, and the two EC2 instance should have should spin one website, and the second EC2 instance should spin up second website. So let's create the EC2 instances. So click on the launch instance, and give any name for the time being instance one, and we are going to rename, and we want two EC2 instances, so give number of instances two, and we are using the free tier eligible, so we use the Amazon Linux, and that's it, free tier eligible t2.micro key, proceed without a key pair. So let's create a security group. We want to access, yes, we want HTTP traffic because it's a website and we want HTTP traffic, so that's fine. And storage is fine, and go to the advanced details, and in the advanced details under the user data there is a user data, and we have to spin up some website. So we are going to spin up the Apache server. So there is a one script I am going to provide into the description. So we have provided this script. It is not doing nothing, like just doing the update, then installing the HTTPD server, and giving the access to the user. And we are mentioning served from hostname and target group one. Why we are mentioning? Because these two instances we are going to put in the target group one, and these two instances we are going to put in the target group two. So just to when we are going to access our website, just to know from which EC2 instance our website is coming. So that's why I just give target group. So let's click on the launch instance. So our two EC2 instance should spin up. So click on the instances. So it's in the pending state. So just wait for a couple of minutes. So both the EC2 instances are up. So if you just click the public IP address and go to the HTTP and give the, not the HTTPS, give the HTTP only, and give the IP address. So we are getting the particular host name, the IP, and target group one. And similarly for the second, we are getting the different IP, right? And for the target group one. So that is perfectly fine. right? So like this till this thing where we have, so till this thing we have created two EC2 instances. So let's create two more EC2 instances. So click on the launch instances, and before creating the EC2 second EC2 instance, so let's rename it. So EC2 instance 2, right? And let's now create on the launch instance, and we are again going to create the 2 and give it instance 3, and rest everything looks same. Proceed without key value pair, and we are not going to create the new security group. We are going to create use the existing security group which is just created when we are going to create the first two EC2 instances. So click on it and go to the advanced details, right? And under the user data, paste the same script, all right, with a little modification. So copy the content, paste it, and here we will mention target group 2, because we are going to place these two EC2 instances in the different target group, just to otherwise not going to know like from where like our website is being served. All right. So that's it. And like click on the launch instances. So let's go to the instances. So now it's in the pending, so let's wait for a couple of minutes. So our EC2 instance is up. So let's rename it EC2 instance 3 and EC2 instance 4, which is fine. And now click on this instance 3, copy the IP address, paste it, and now we are setting, we are giving a instance group 2. And similarly for the instance 4, we are getting the instance 2. Right? So what the next thing? So next thing is we need to create a target group, and we need to place EC2 1 and EC2 2 in one target group, and we need to create another target group, and we need to place EC2 3 and EC2 4 in the second target group. So click on it. If you come to the right hand side, we have the under the load balancing, we have the target groups. So click on the target groups. So create a target group. We are putting the instances. So instances profile, give the target group name, uh, target group 1, fine. Port is HTTP 80, which is fine. VPC is also fine. HTTP also fine. Health check is also fine. So let's create next. Now, like it is showing like which EC2 instances you want to put. So we are creating the target group 1. Target group 1, and in the target group 1 we need to put EC2 1 and EC2 2. So select instance 1, select instance 2, click on include as pending below. So now it's showing here. So create the target group. So now the target group has been created. So let's create the second target group. Create the second target group. Instances. Give the target group name. Target group 2. And rest everything same. Click on the next. Now it's again asked which EC2 instances you want to put. Now I want to put 3 and 4. And click on the include as pending below. It will show here. Now click on the target group. So now our two target group has been created, which is perfectly fine. So till this point, we have created this structure and we have created this structure. Now we have to create the load balancer. So let's create the load balancer as well. So click on the load balancer. We don't have any load balancer yet. So create the load balancer. Fine. We have like a various option of the load balancer. We have to use the application load balancer because we are serving the application, and it's serving on the HTTP and the HTTPS protocol. And so that's why it's the ALB, application load balancer, because we are serving the application and we are serving the HTTP and HTTPS only. So click on create. Fine. Give anything, my load balancer, any name. So it is internet facing. Yes, internet facing, because like we want to give the this IP address to the user, the any public user. So it should be the internet facing, and IPv4, which is perfectly fine. And let's so it's just like where you want to spin up. The because of availability, we can select everything. Under the security group, we can select the existing security group, launch wizard 1. So could remove the default one. So here are the listener. So right now you could see only one listener, HTTP or HTTPS. That's fine. So, but I told you we can, if I told you, I said, okay, we can like attach the listener rule based upon the domain, based upon the HTTP, based upon the path, based upon the IP address, based upon the query string. But here we are, oh, where it is. But here we are only going to see HTTP and HTTPS. But where are the other option? Path, query string. So just wait for a minute. Select HTTP and select the target group 1. So for the time being, we are moving the traffic only to the target 1, just for the time being, right? So select the target group 1, and rest everything looks okay. Yeah, and create a load balancer. So load balancer has been successfully created. It will start provisioning, and it will take few minutes, and after that our application, we can access our application, because right now to the load balancer we said okay, go to the target group 1. So if I am going to access my load balancer IP, then my website should be visible from the target group 1, and one by one. Because if it go here, then first it is a load balancer, it is balancing the load. It is not moving the traffic to only one EC2 instance, it is going moving the traffic to the different EC2 instance. That is a one by one, because it has to manage the loads. So we should see one IP first this time, then second IP this time, like this IP. But from the both are from the same target group, that is target group 1. We should not see the target group 2. All right, so let's see if our load balancer is up and running. So it is still in the provisioning state, so let's wait for few minutes. So now my load balancer is active, so click on the load balancer. So you could see the DNS here. Just click on it. You can copy the DNS name can be copied. So come to the browser and go to the HTTP and give the load balancer name. So you could see the same website which you are serving from the target group 1, that is the EC2. Now we are serving from the from the load balancer. Now we are seeing this 96 IP, but from the target group 1. So let's hit one more time, and hit one more time. Now you could see 178 IP, but from the target group 1. Now hit one more time, again 96. Hit one more time, 178. Hit one more time, 96. Hit one more time, 178. But from the target group 1 only, right? But if I want, we want if something happen, then it go to the target group 1. But if something happen, it should go to the target group 2. But how this is going to happen? So that is the listener rules, but where it is? So click on the load balancer, and if you scroll down, or there is a listener section, you could see, click on the load balancer, because listener groups can be attached on the firewall and as the load balancer. So you have to first come onto the load balancer page. Click on the load balancer, click on the listeners. So on the listener, right now you could see only one rule, like HTTP 80, and there's a one rule. Click on the rule, one rule. All right. So you could see only one rule. If all matches, whatever the request it is, just move to the target group 1. There is only one rule. All right. But we need to add multiple rules. Like if the path is this, then move to here. If path is this, then move to there. If the query string is this, then move to target group 1. If the query string is another, then move to target group 2. We have to. So click on the manage rules. You could see one window. Right now we have only one rule. So click on this plus icon on the top. Click on the plus icon and click on the insert rule. So as soon as you click on the insert rule, you could see like one UI, and in that you could see there is a lot of condition: host header, path, HTTP header, HTTP request, query string, source IP. The same thing I told you, everything. Like we can based upon the path, HTTP request method, query string, source IP. So let's click on the path. So we selected the path. So we said, okay, if the path is slash error, let's suppose if someone selects slash error, then what we want? So click on it first. If the path is slash error, then what we want? We want a fixed response. Like we want to forward the traffic to some another group. We want the redirect. We want fixed response. But if the slash error, right, then we want, okay, this URL does not exist, right? That's fine. So when someone hit the slash error, then it should give me the fixed response that this URL does not exist. It should not go to my target group 1. It should not go to my target group 2, right? So if I click on my load balancer, and if I copy my load balancer and open the new tab and paste here and slash error and hit enter. So and the requested URL was not found on this server. 1 minute, it should show me, that thing. So if the path is /error, then we should, the URL does not exist. It should get me this error. The URL should not exist. 404. So something is wrong. Let me open into some another Chrome browser. The requested URL was not found on the server. No, this is wrong. We should get the message which we gave. So that is something wrong. 404 not found. Let me check. Just a wait a minute. There was a silly mistake. It was not a mistake. I forgot to save that rule because when I created the rule, because I inserted the rule, so there is a save button. I forgot to click on the save button. So now, so like if you just do /error, then we are getting some manual like some that response which we provided. That is this URL does not exist, right? Which is perfectly fine. All right. So on the path, so we did that. Okay, if on the path basis we can do that. So let's try something else. So click on the plus icon, click on the insert rule. So let's try to add the condition. So let's try the query string. If the query string is like let's suppose the target and values 2. If someone put the query string as target 2, then our load balancer forward my traffic to my target group 2. All right, done. Now click on the save button. All right, so now my query string is 2. So if in my query string target equal to 2 and hit enter, so it is loading. So now you could see my traffic is serving from the target group 2. So based upon my like rules, it is like sending my traffic. So and within the target group as well, it is serving those two IP address based by because it has to manage the load as well. That is the functionality of the load balancer as well, right? But every time it should go to the target group too because of my rules. I set the rules in such a way. Okay, and let's try one more thing. So if you click on it, you could see HTTP request method you can put is value something get post port patch put, and we can see HTTP header. So there could be so many value of the HTTP header. So as an example, if you open the google.com and you or instead of the google.com, let's open our website, this website, and click on the inspect page, and under the inspect click on the network, and under the network and just refresh my page. Now my page is visible. If you click on it, I just give this URL, but you could see there are a lot of headers are coming. In the request header, you could see a lot of field automatically are coming. I am not passing this field. Accept encoding, accept language. So you can like do this routing on based upon your. So let's put there is a one header that is a user agent, and user agent means whether your browser is Mozilla, Firefox, or whatever it is. So let's suppose if I give user agent, so go to the rules, and if my header is user agent, and if value is let's suppose like slash Chrome, right? Chrome. Now it should my forward my traffic to the target group 1. Let's suppose if it's Chrome, then it should forward my traffic group to the target group 1. So say now you could see I said my both the like conditions are matching. So first condition is Chrome, the second condition target group 2. But my first condition say it should move to the target group 1, but second condition say it should move to the target group 2. So let's try. So if I click from here, so now you could see because I says it is user agent Chrome and I am on the Chrome. So it is going to the target group 1, right? But if I say my query string is target is equal to, and hit enter, and it say target group 2. So based upon the condition, as soon as the condition met, so this condition met, okay, this condition say okay, but the second condition is also like this is going to this condition. So based upon that, you can do like a lot of restriction as well. Like let's suppose if source IP, you want to block some IP. So if the source IP is this, then you can pass the fixed response. You are not authorized. You are not authorized. Something like that. Like let's suppose the source IP is something else. So these are the rules. These are the listener rules, like which is like very important concept. And all right, so you can also try to implement this. And we implemented the whole architecture. We created the 4 EC2 instances. We tried the multiple rules on the if condition slash path condition query string request headers, right? So there are so many like you can like try anything. So basically in the layman term, what is listener rule? Listener rule like a kind of a bouncer. So this is my bouncer, these are my bouncers. Whatever the traffic is coming, whatever the traffic is coming, it is checking. Okay, if this condition is met, 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 and if this condition is met, then it is checking my action. Because as soon as I say okay, if someone says slash error, I am the error, then it should not put my like traffic to the target group or target group to it should like return the fixed response. So this is kind of my bouncer who is checking all the incoming traffic. So that's it. That's the end of the video. And at the end, do one thing, clean up all the resources so that you should not pay more amount. So let's click on the instance running and click all the 4 instances, and instance is terminate instance. Terminate. And along with that, what we created the target group, we created the load balancer. So let's create delete the load balancer as well. Delete load balancer, confirm. Now delete the target group as well. Action, delete, yes, delete. So it's it is like currently in use. So because it is being like maybe the load balancer is getting deleted, or is being used. So the rules are currently by listener or a rule. So load balancer not fully deleted. So let's try to redelete. So now it's deleted. So it takes some time because the load balancer like was not fully deleted. Now delete the security group because one of the security group was created when we are trying to launch the EC2 instance. So if you want to delete, you can delete. Otherwise, it's up to you. So yeah, deleted. And let's cross verify the EC2 dashboard. So running. So there are no instance running. Yeah, there are no instance running, which is perfectly fine. So that's the end of the video. You can also try. And thank you.